Hey everyone, J-Rays here. If you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you either have a GoXLR or you're curious about the gender and pitch correction within the GoXLR. So I will be giving you a fairly quick overview on how you can achieve a more realistic sounding voice and what you should be playing with in order to achieve that voice. Okay, so before you start messing around with pitch and gender effects, I'm going to want you to have a voice in mind that you're trying to achieve. So whether you're going for a male voice, a female voice, a voice in between, you're going to want to have that in mind. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try to manipulate your own voice outside of the software so you can get somewhat close to it. And then that's going to allow you to apply a smaller amount of pitch correction, and that's going to result in a less robotic or distorted voice in the end result. So another thing to keep in mind with that is just because I can raise my pitch amount in the software or outside of the software, that's not going to make me sound like a woman at all. There's tonal differences between men and women. There's tons of women that don't have high-pitched voices, and you can still off the bat right away know that it's a female voice. Pitch is not everything, so you're going to want to keep that in mind and try to work on that yourself, which is what makes achieving a female voice, for example, in my case, very difficult. Just because I got pitch down, it might not be, perfect. All right, and so now just to reiterate, your goal will be to get as close as possible to a voice and then just add a small amount of pitch and gender correction. A large amount will make it sound unrealistic, and most people want the opposite, which is what I'm trying to help you achieve. With that being said, when you're messing with pitch in the GoXLR app, hopefully after you have a somewhat close sounding voice to what you're trying to get, you're going to want to have this tab expanded, which will reveal the character slider. Now, the character slider will definitely be important in how you want it to sound. Depending on this amount, you might sound more cartoonish, or it might just sound better for the particular voice you're going for. So I definitely recommend when you find a certain amount of pitch to use, you play around with this and see what sounds best. For the style, I'm going to recommend you have narrow set, because this will limit your ability to only change 12 semitones of pitch. And if you're going anything past that, it's going to sound unrealistic. So if you're not going for a realistic voice, sure, go ahead, use wide. Set that all the way to max, crank that, get yourself sounding like a baby. It might not sound the best, but you'll definitely get somewhere in that level. Okay, and so after that, you have your gender. The gender is a format change, so I'll let you do a little research on what that is, but basically what's going to change is the pitch of your voice. So your tone will be exactly the same, but your pitch will change. That might help you achieve a particular voice with pitch that sounds more female-like or more manly. So it definitely depends on what you're going for. Play around with it, see what happens when you lower it. Does that help your voice that you're trying to achieve? What if I raise it? Am I sounding more like a female? Try all of that, and then that should definitely help you get on your way. All right, and as many of you have noticed, I have not been messing around with these settings on my own currently, or doing it live, just because I think that me trying to achieve a female voice might not be too helpful for a female trying to achieve a male voice. So I'm trying to give kind of like general things you should be trying, and a certain preset might not work for everyone. So you want to tune everything to your own voice. So I'm just trying to give you kind of a baseline or guidelines what you should be doing. I would definitely keep in mind when you're working with pitch and gender, a certain equalizer that you have set up for your microphone might make it sound too bassy to work for a female voice. For myself, I have a Heil PR40 microphone, which is very bass heavy and has that kind of radio tone. And then my EQ actually has some bass to it as well. So that might not work too well for me trying to get a female voice going. With that being said, I hope you guys learned something from this video, and I hope you leave a like and subscribe so you can catch my next videos and help share the video around. I think some of the stuff I go over can definitely help people just in general using pitch correction and software that has it available. Catch you guys around, and I hope you have a great day. All right, and just so you guys kind of get an idea for how the pitch and gender correction works on the GoXLR, I'll just do a demonstration. So right away, you'll hit your FX button. So now you can see it's highlighted on the app. And then you'll slowly start working your pitch up.
So you might hear me get a bit higher in tone. And then gender being worked in. So as you can see, as I'm slowly talking, my tone of voice might have changed a lot. Not my tone, but my pitch. And then I can also take my pitch and slowly work it back down.
And then get even a deeper voice going. But now it might sound a bit weird because I'm lowering my pitch amount, but I raised my gender. So let me lower back my gender. And then you can slowly hear how my voice is changing. And now with a lower pitch or gender amount, you can just hear the drastic differences from how I started. And that's basically how gender and pitch works in the GoXLR. There's a lot of different combinations, and that's why I think there's a lot you can change and work with. And that might also make it a bit harder to get a certain voice. But I think if you give it enough time and you have some patience, you'll be able to achieve the voice you want.